Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. Big headline today. Justice Stephen Breyer is going to retire from the Supreme Court. Now, look, I'm not going to speculate on specific names. It's not my zone. But I will say this. I am offended by President Biden's woke promise to appoint an African-American female. He made that promise all during the 2020 campaign. Madam Psaki today reminded us that he intends to keep that promise. Take a listen, please.
I committed that if I'm elected president, have an opportunity to appoint someone to the courts, I'll appoint the first black woman to the courts. It's required that they have representation.
The president has stated and reiterated his commitment to nominating a black woman to the Supreme Court and certainly stands by that.
Now, let me clarify. If an African-American female is the absolutely best qualified candidate around the country, then fine. Nominate her. God bless her. But what about a highly qualified female Hispanic to think? Or a qualified female Asian? Or a qualified Native American? No, not you, Elizabeth Warren, but a qualified one. Even better, a decision on a qualified person regardless of their skin color, or their gender, or their ethnicity, or their race. I know that may be asking too much in Biden land, but I just want to put it on the table, on the record. Suppose you have a brilliant white female jurist, worked her way up, fought it out through law school competitively, maybe worked in the public defender's office, an assistant district attorney for sure, maybe sitting on a lower court bench writing brilliant opinions, known far and wide for her brilliant opinions. In Biden world's wokedom and its critical social theories of critical race social theories, this white woman is apparently disqualified. Is that American? Really? Or think about the unthinkable, that Joe Biden would actually consider the most eminently qualified person, including white people. That's right, white people. A week after Martin Luther King's birthday, may I say again, quote, "I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character," end quote. One of the greatest lines, in my opinion, in American history. Instead, in Biden world, we're going to end racism by being racist. We will end prejudice by being prejudiced. We'll end divisions by being divisive. I think it's a travesty. I think it disqualifies Biden from being president. I think it's much worse than big government socialist spending, or tax hikes, or central planning regulators, or ending fossil fuel, or open borders. Joe Biden shouldn't be president. This racial prejudice is totally un-American. In a free country, governed by the rule of law, with free markets, with free elections, with free speech, with freedom of religion, there is no place for this Biden world prejudice. And I'm sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. How about the best possible Supreme Court? The best possible Supreme Court, regardless of race, religion, ethnicity, skin color. How about that for America? All right, I'm going to switch gears now, completely switch gears. We may come back to this. We will come back to this issue later in the program with our panel, and we have Newt Gingrich and we have others. The big story, apart from Steve Breyer retiring, is, of course, the Federal Reserve. And Jay Powell got up and, I don't know, worked his ambiguity magic. I guess we believe that the Fed is going to end quantitative easing in a month or so in March, and then they're going to start raising their short-term target rate, and that's going to somehow end 7% inflation. I guess that's the idea. Markets sold off on the news. Last time I looked, there's the Dow was off, finished at 129 points. It was off a couple of hundred points at one point. Nobody knows what he's talking about. Nobody knows what the specifics are going to be. All I'll say is, one way or the other, in the next year or more, he's going to take away the punch bowl, whether he likes it or not.